This might sound like a ridiculous question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I have a point. Would you go and eat a Tide Pod after somebody upset you, triggered you, insulted you, hurt your feelings? Would you do that? It's ridiculous, right? Of course you wouldn't do that. Who would do that? And it's very much like that quote from Buddha that says, holding on to anger is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. And that's where I'm going with this conversation today. There are so many people on the planet right now. There are billions of people on the planet. And I'm going to say a large portion of those billions of people haven't figured out how to regulate their nervous systems, how to respond rather than react to things. In layman's terms, or in spiritual terms, they're not doing the work. Well, what is the work? Well, it's everything that I just described. It's developing the emotional maturity that comes from navigating really traumatic, conflicting, harsh environments and situations. At the early stages of our life, depending on what type of family you're born into, we get trained into these unhealthy ways of dealing with our emotions. And I know for me, I went through a very violent period of my life. There was a lot of yelling. There was a lot of throwing things. I even have been suspended from school for fighting. It was just this knee-jerk reaction to want to hit out at things that angered me. And I had a very thin skin and had a very short fuse. So I was just like a ticking time bomb. I was one of those type of people. And I'm going to be honest, it got kind of lonely in high school towards the end because all of the people I was friends with decided they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. Who could blame them? I don't blame them. At the time, it hurt. Of course it did, because it was my senior year of high school. There were all of these activities. There were all of these things going on. And my 3 best friends decided they didn't want to have anything to do with me. And you would think that this would be a really huge turning point in my life where I would start to look at my behavior, think about why I was acting in the ways that I was acting, and make the decision to do things differently. But no, those types of thought processes wouldn't come to me until later in life, in my mid-30s. But we get there when we get there, and the timing is always perfect. And I don't know exactly where you're at on your journey. It doesn't matter. But my purpose in bringing through this message is to remind us all nothing good comes from hanging on to past hurts. Nothing good comes from continuing to assume the identity of a victim. Nothing good comes from wanting revenge and vengeance. And I'm hearing vindication. Now, I am a quadruple Aquarius. So the need to be right was exceedingly powerful and very strong through the first big chunk of my life. I would jump through all kinds of hoops to prove my rightness. I was so in my ego, and I really would go out of my way to prove how right I was about things. And I don't do that anymore because, one, who cares? I mean, it would be ridiculous things too, like trivial thing, like actual trivial things. People would argue with me and I would know that I was right, and I would need to prove it to them. I would need to show them the facts. I would even, when the internet first came out, I would be entertained by going on chat rooms, getting into various chat rooms, looking for people that I could argue with. It was addictive for me. It was a bad habit. This is one of those bad habits that I had to learn to break and overcome, fighting with people. Aquarians have stamina. I had a lot of stamina when it came to arguing my point. And I would not stop. I would just keep going until people either agreed with me or just got so tired of fighting that they just gave up. And was that a good use of my energy? No. And I see that now. And that's why I make different choices now. Because your attention is currency. Whatever you are literally paying, you're paying attention to whatever it is you focus on. So when you take a zoomed out look at life and maybe the little things that upset us, maybe it's the neighbor didn't close the lid on their trash can, so now some of their trash blew into your yard. Or maybe it's somebody cut you off in traffic. These little things that I would really marinate in and make big battles out of, which I can't even remember them all. This is how insignificant it is. I can't even remember them all now, but it would take up so much of my energy. It would take up so much of my time. It would take up so much of my attention. And if my attention were dollar bills, I don't know that I would spend it on those things. I wouldn't spend my money. I wouldn't spend my money on that. And these thoughts that we have can kick up a lot of this residual dust, anger dust. It kicks up anger dust. Now, anger has its place. We're always going to feel it. We're human beings. We're here to feel all of the emotions. The important thing, though, is not staying there unless it's something that you want to feel. Which for me, love, happiness, joy, these are things that I want to feel more of. Those are the emotions that I really want to stay connected to. And the frustration's going to come, the hurt will be there. And yet, I've learned there are healthier ways to deal with these emotions. There are healthier ways to deal with these past memories. And I used to be a really angry, mean, bitter person. I used to want revenge on the people who hurt me. And that took up a lot of my time and energy. And the thing is, it really is like poison. The people that I've met who are still beating the drum of everything that's happened to them, and they continue talking about to anyone who will listen, any and every grievance or abuse that has happened to them, they're not healthy people. They all have health issues. All of them. And that's not a coincidence, because resentment is poison, anger is poison, frustration is poison. And when you allow it to take over your body, when you allow it to live in your cells, it can manifest into physical things. It can manifest into physical symptoms and illnesses. What I see a lot, autoimmune diseases, inflammation, cancer. I've seen some really talented, incredible, loving, smart people completely derail their lives because they couldn't forgive. They couldn't let go. They couldn't let go of the past story. They were holding on to something that happened decades ago, and the people they were mad at weren't even the same people anymore. But they refused to let go of their old identity, and they refused to let go of the old identity of that person. And I saw everything just come crashing down around them, and there was nothing I could do. I tried. I really did. I've seen this multiple times. You may even know someone. You might have even been there. I certainly have. So I want you to think about this. The next time something triggers you, the next time someone upsets you, the next time old hurt surfaces from a memory of a traumatic experience that maybe you haven't been able to completely forgive, think about the Tide Pod. You're not going to be running into your laundry room to go grab one and swallow it. So maybe it's time to let it go. Free yourself. Forgiveness is never about the other person. It's for us. It's for us. And when you are able to do it, the shift that you will experience is incredible. And it's noticeable. People will see it. They'll see it in your eyes. They'll see it in your face. Deep down inside, we all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. We all want to be fulfilled. And that's where these negative emotions come from, in response to feeling the opposite of those things, the absence of them. But it's your birthright. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to feel supported. We all do. And these are exactly the types of conversations that I have with people in my walk and talk sessions. First, we just dump everything out. Like, what is on your mind? Lay it all out there. Brutal, honest truth. Let's get it out. Then we start trying to find the gift in those things. How can these things be a benefit? Did you learn something? Did it awaken something in you? Did it inspire you to take action you weren't taking before? We get really, really clear on that. And then we shift it. We shift it. And we start calling in what we do want. And all the while we're moving our bodies. It's the somatic work of moving that negative energy through the body as you speak on it, as you let it go, as you declare what it is that you are calling into your life now. It's very, very powerful. If you would like to experience this for yourself, you can book a walk and talk session with me at www.lifeaquarian.com/walk. You'll get all the details. I have a video on there that explains the whole process. And it would be my honor to go on a walk with you. If there's somebody that you know that could benefit from this message, you have my permission and blessing to share it. Thank you. And if it resonated with you and you want to show me a little bit of love and support, I would be so grateful if you give me a thumbs up and bonus points if you comment and share a story with me. What is something that came to mind for you when I said, would you eat a Tide Pod? What came up for you? Share it down below. I'd love to hear from you and connect with you down there. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, oh my goodness, let's be friends. Please go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell notification so you will always know when I post a new video. I try to post a new video at least once a week. And thank you so much for being here, for sharing your beautiful energy with me. It is my intention that you walk away feeling lighter, loved, and lifted. And until the next one, bye.